with hormones. Why? To be profitable, to get, big house quickly. So, but what is happening with us when we eat such a meat? When you feed your children with those meat, then they got early puberty. 50 years ago, children were getting puberty around 16, 17, which is normal because they are ready mentally and physically for the adult life. But nowadays, children get puberty around 10, 11. Even in a practice, we can see 5-year-old child is getting first characteristics of puberty. What is disaster, because these children are physically ready, but not mentally ready. And then we have complete chaos in their heads. But what is happening with adults? When they eat meat, they get cancer, and they get especially breast cancer and prostate cancer. Also, cows are fed by antibiotics. Why? Because not to become sick. Again, it's about profit. But when you eat such a meat, you have constantly pour constantly antibiotics into your body. If you ask me about fish, what about fish? Fish, commercially farming fish is the same like any other commercial farming. So they feed them with the same stuff, with hormones and even colors to make a better, nicer color of the fish. But also, if you get from the sea, fish are really absorbing like a sponge. They absorb mercury, lead, and arsenic. So you overload your body with mercury, which is highly toxic poison. But you said, how I can get my omega-3, because we know that it's essential for as a brain food. So you can get the best omega-3 from flax seeds, ground flax seeds, and walnuts. They're excellent sources. What about milk? When we talk about milk from the same cows, we also can talk about antibiotics, about hormones and prions, because they also pass through the milk. But also, we can talk about blood and pus in the milk. So why we have blood and pus in the milk? Because cows are constantly inseminated to have milk. So because of that, they get infection in their breast. And when they get infection, and we don't have any more canned milk, we have strong sucking by machines, so we have also pus cells into the milk. This is allowed to have. Even in one country, we had 750,000 cells, pus cells allowed in a liter of milk. Okay, and also blood, because this strong sucking is breaking walls of the blood, vessels, small blood vessels, and you get also blood in the milk. But what is happening with the milk after that? Pasteurization means heating the milk on a very high temperature for 30 minutes, means killing of the milk. And this milk is not any more milk, because there is not any enzyme in this. So we call this milk dead milk. And what is happening next is homogenization. Homogenization is spinning on a high speed of the milk. Molecules are broken down into small pieces, and they enter blood vessels. When these small molecules enter blood vessels, they rip your blood vessels, and they make holes in them. This is real reason of atherosclerosis, not cholesterol, which we are going to talk after that, a little bit later. But let's see what nature said about milk. After weaning, when mother stops feeding her baby with the milk, no animal drinks milk except humans. And no animal drinks milk from another species. Cow's milk have a tremendous amount of proteins in the milk. Why? Because this calf has to grow very fast, have to become half ton, in a year. But we humans, we need a little bit of proteins. So it's a great difference, and we will examine why these proteins are actually a problem. Okay, we discussed about this. What we can expect, which diseases you can get from the milk? First of all, you can get osteoporosis. I know that this is not logical because all your life you used to hear that actually milk is good for the bones, but it is opposite. Why it is opposite? Because when you take a lot of proteins, we can store only 30 grams of proteins in our body. A Western diet consists of 150 grams of proteins daily. So everything what is excess, and if you take meat and milk, of course you have excess of the proteins in your body. All this excess of the proteins is going to deliver to be broken down. And product of this breaking down is sulfur, very strong acid. And this acid has to be taken out because it's a poison. So acid, in order to be taken out, is connected to alkaline. And the alkaline which acid finds is calcium from the bones. So we call this disease, we call protein-induced hypercalciuria. It is very well known, we know about this, but you don't have this information, so I'm here to share with you. What else we can get from milk? We can get diabetes mellitus type 1, diabetes which children get. How? Because milk protein, cow's milk protein is foreign protein for our body. So our body, some people, they have very strong reaction on this foreign protein. So immediately our body is getting, producing antibodies to fight this foreign protein. When our body, because milk protein and molecules of our pancreas are similar structure, in the same time when antibodies kill protein of the milk, they kill their own pancreas. And this is the real cause of diabetes mellitus type 1, milk. And also allergies and eczema and all other stuff. And also, just to say about eggs, that eggs are made, designed for chicks, by God, and we call them liquid meat. They are not for human consumption. Fat is actually a solid fat. Animal fat is solid fat, and plant fat is a liquid fat. Okay? So when you consume animal fat will stay solid in your body too. So your body will struggle really hardly to digest this animal fat. But when you put plant fat, it's liquid, and body can easily get rid of this. So, do we have time for a movie clip, maybe? Yeah, maybe if you can help me.
At the end.
At the end? Okay. It's 3 minutes. Okay, but missing information about protein, high protein diet happened 1940s when Mendel and Osborne, they did research experiments on rats. And they fed rats by meat. And they find out that actually rats were going so fast. And they published that. But they didn't publish that all rats had very short lifespan and they got cancer. So now they're disproved, and it's a different story. You ask always, about calcium. How I can get calcium? Because we are conditioned to think that we have calcium only in the milk. But you have calcium in green vegetables, in seeds, nuts, legumes, and grains. I know, enough what you need. I ask you how cow gets her calcium.
Grass.
Oh, the grass. Many people ask me how they can find proteins. So you have spinach. 49% of spinach is pure protein. And this protein is pure amino acid, which is going directly to be built up in your body. But when you cook any food, then these proteins are getting coagulated, and they're huge molecules. They cannot be easily built into your body. So it's actually the only way to get your proteins, the best way is to eat raw food. You have also broccoli, lettuce, celery, string beans, cauliflower. How elephant gets his protein? You see how huge he is? From the grass. What are enzymes?